listen to your tape, and I want to tape back right away. Because I keep thinking, no, I can't even take the time. I've got to go to sleep. I'm very tired, or I have so much work to do. But I see now that my whole life, it seems to be, is working, and I can put it off forever. So if I don't make a tape, then if I keep putting it off, like it took me so long to finish the last tape that I made. And it's silly, because I want to talk to you. And this way, since I just took your tape, and then I'm still like, I'm in the mood to talk, and I want to explain a lot of things, and maybe it's better that I don't wait and plan out what I'm going to say. I think that might be my problem a lot of times. For instance, you mentioned in the tape that there's two subjects that I seem to avoid, and one of them is Ellie, and the other one is about me coming home this summer and all that. Well, there are two subjects, especially Ellie, that I'm not avoiding them. Of course I want to tell you about them. It's just that, to me, it's something so... I'm so worried that I won't explain it well, and that you'll get the wrong impression, and that you won't understand exactly what I mean, or I won't explain it well. And it's such an adin, delicate thing to me that I just think, I'll wait until I can really sit down and think it out, and then I'll tell you. But I realize now that I'm never going to sit down and really think it out. Really, there's not anything to really think out. It's not anything that deep and hard to understand. It's plain, so I might as well tell you already, right? So I'm gonna, I'll talk on this tape. I want to say a lot of things, I guess. And so here I am. I'm lying in my sleeping bag. Actually, it's not mine. It's Toby's. I've had it since the Tiyul, and I discovered it's so much easier to sleep in a sleeping bag than to put sheets and blankets and pillowcase and everything on every day, because we have to strip our beds here every day. So, and it's much warmer and much more comfortable. So I'm all curled up in my sleeping bag with 2 pieces of bread, yummy, and I'm alone in my room for the time being. I don't know, Rachel will probably have to come in soon to study, but I'll try to let that not inhibit me, and I'll tape to you. First of all, I was very, very sorry to hear about your cousin Bernice. It's very, very upsetting. It's very upsetting and shocking. I hope that everything is okay now. It's such a sudden thing. How old was she? Anyway, I'm glad though that you had a chance to meet her at least, and at least you made that you opened that link. You created that link between you and her, and you and that side of the family. And Auntie Gloria got to see everyone. I don't know. Send me more details though. How many children does she have? And what will they do? And what will their husband do? Anyway, I don't know. That was sad news. And but I'm happy to hear about Henry, and I'm glad that he's okay. And Aunt Lil told me a lot of the details, how he's going to be coming home soon, and now the operation was a success, and how he shouldn't have any more troubles after this, right? Anyway, so give my best regards to him and to Seal and to Nancy and to Helene and all that stuff. But that's really great. By the time you get this tape, he'll already have been home, and that in itself is a great thing. He'll probably get better much quicker at home than in a hospital, right, Dad? Anyway, so that's about Henry. What else did you tell me? Your Friday night meal sounded great. Aunt Lil spent all afternoon describing it. I was starving. I was very hungry today. And she spent all day telling us how good your meal was and everything you made. And I was starving. I didn't want to say anything because the minute I opened my mouth, and Yelsa would probably take me to the fanciest restaurant and spend $50,000 on me or something to get me something to eat. And I knew that we were going to eat dinner soon. So my mouth was watering and my stomach's growling, and I'm waiting for it to be dinner time, and it finally was. So today, what happened was I had 2 classes early in the morning, so I went to them, and then from there I went and I met Yesel at Harat Tosim, and we drove up to Netanya, and we met Aunt Lil and her sister, and we talked for a while, and then they wanted to lie down and rest. They were very tired. They just came yesterday, and you lose a lot of time. It's very exhausting. So while they rested, we went to visit the Polak, who I don't know, but Yesel knows, so that was nice. They lived in a perfectly gorgeous apartment. Actually, I didn't like the way it was furnished that much. It was sort of ornate for me. But the apartment itself was really big and really pretty. And the Dotsons also live there, and I don't know them, but their daughter Sharon went to the academy. She's 3 years younger than me, but she's Ozzy and Sippy and all those guys' age. So I went to see. So she came over to see me, and we sort of remembered each other. Anyway, if you see Ozzy or Sippy or anybody like that, all my regards to them from Sharon Dotson. And okay. Anyway, after that we went back to Aunt Lil's and to our hotel and we had dinner there. And I ate my head off. I had a good meal. You'll be really sad. I had meat. I don't know when the last time was that I had meat. And I had kasha varnishkas, but it came nothing near to your kasha varnishkas. And I had bread, naturally, and I had soup and tea and cookies and stuff. And then we drove back. Here I am. Let me see. Before I go on, my next thing on the agenda, I want to tell you about my day yesterday. I don't know why. It's nothing really special, like as far as great events happening in my life that chalk it up, as turning point in my life. It wasn't, or anything. It was just a normal day. But it was such a nice day. It was one of my nicest days here, and I just want to tell you. Being Monday, I go to, that lady in Machane Yehuda. So, by the way, last week I took the whole box that you sent me. Took a few things out that I wanted, and then I took the rest down to that Rabbanit lady down in Machane Yehuda. But this Monday, it was a gorgeous day outside, and warm and nice and sunny and really pleasant. And I woke up and I decided, I don't know, I have all these tests to study for. I have my math test starting all over again. So I have this huge math test that I should be studying for. In fact, tomorrow we have half the day off to study for it. And I don't even feel like it. I have no cheshek. I have no desire to. So yesterday also I should have studied. I had time. But instead, I decided, I don't know, I was going to spend the day nicely. I don't know. Anyway, I went down to Zakia in the morning. And I usually spend like an hour and a half or something with her. I stayed there about 3 hours. And we talked, and she told me all about her family. It's so depressing. She had such problems. And yet, we ended up like we were laughing together, and we had Turkish coffee together, and one day I'll learn how to make it, because every time I try, here she's blind and old, and she can hardly walk, and she cooks the coffee while I watch her, and I can't even offer to do it because I can't do it. Every time I do it, it overflows, and it gets all a mess, and it makes her nervous, so. But we had a few cups of coffee, and I don't know. I left there, it was about 12:31, and I decided instead of coming home and studying, which every normal person would do, it was so nice that I wanted to go to the kotel. So I went to the kotel. I took the bus to Shar Yaakov, and I walked through the shuk. Whenever I walked through the shuk, there was a store, right before you come to the kotel, there's a store on the left, it's called Ben Arza, and it's a spine store. It has all kinds of books there. And I'd love to go and walk around, and when there's I want to buy all the books, and I want to read them all, and I wish I knew them all by heart or something. I wish I could learn them all. But I can just settle for just going through and browsing around. And since I go to Mikvala, I get such a huge reduction on books that sometimes if I have some money, I could buy some. But I went in, and I was looking around. I always like to go there before I go to the kotel. And I found this book that I've been dying to buy since the beginning of the year, and no one ever seemed to have it. And I don't get to go to the bookstore that often, and they had it. And I was so excited that I grabbed it, and I ran over to pay for it. And I said, here, I want to buy this book. And he said, okay. And he started taking it, wrapping it up. And then he told me how much it cost. And all of a sudden it occurred to me, oh, yeah, I have to pay for it. The whole idea that I had to pay for it, I completely forgot about that aspect. And I didn't have any money on me. It was the most embarrassing thing. He said it was 5.5 pounds. And I said, oh, I have to pay for it? I was just realizing myself, yeah. So then I felt really stupid. I said, oh, but I don't have any money. So he said, that's okay. He didn't even look a bit surprised. He said, that's okay. Next time you're around, come in. He said, that's okay. Take it, and next time you're around, you'll come in and pay for it. So, what? I said, no, forget it. I'll come some other time. No. He said, no, take it, and when you're in the neighborhood, you'll come pay for it. So I couldn't believe it. That's the nicest thing. So I said, okay. And he was so nonchalant about it, he hardly even looked at me or anything. I said, well, at least write it down somewhere. Write it down somewhere. It made me nervous that he just said it. He didn't even write it down. He has to make it official at least. I mean, I'm not used to this. Or give me a bill or something. I don't know. He said, nah, if I write it down, I'll lose that paper, and I have enough papers floating around here. I don't need to have another one of your name on it and 5.5 lira. I trust you. When you're in the neighborhood, you'll come and pay for it. So I took it. It was the nicest thing. Only in Israel, I guess. And then I went to the hotel, and I was about the only one there. It was in the middle of the afternoon, Monday, and it was really nice. I don't know why. Every time I go there, it's nice. Like, I don't get sick of going there. Or sometimes I go there and I think, oh wow, what a big thing. You're standing in front of the hotel, and really I don't feel anything, and I'm just thinking, feel something. You're standing in front of the hotel. And sometimes I go there and I'm just overcome. Like, I also say to myself, you're standing in front of the hotel, but the full connotation of what it means to me, what it really means to me, and what it means in terms of everything, sometimes it's like, I don't know why sometimes yes and why not, but yesterday, yes, I don't know. And I stayed there much longer than I expected to, and then I walked back, and my head was just full of thoughts, all kinds of thoughts, that I don't even remember walking back to the bus stop. I walked through the shuk, I imagine. Usually I feel so nauseous I run through because of all the meat hanging up. I don't even remember smelling anything. And I came back here, and I went to the library, and instead of studying for my math test, I read that book that I bought. Then I went to math class, and that sort of brought me back into the world. It brought me down again. And I don't know, I had such a nice evening. Everything worked out. Then I studied in the evenings, and then I went to bed at a decent hour. Everything was very nice. So I just wanted to tell you about my day. I don't know why, especially. It was just a nice day. And now, let me see, where am I? There's not so much to tell you. Everything here is fine, and I spent the day today with Yossel. I explained to you in the last letter how, I explained to you, just a second. I have such a funny apartment mate. Anyway, what was I telling you? Oh, about Yossel and coming to America. So we decided that he can't come for Pesach. It's a mixture of looking for excuses and being lazy. And like there was some reason. He found out a reason. You know, if you look hard enough, you can always find something. So he found a reason which is not very legitimate, but if he wants to use it, I guess he can. So he's not going home. He's not going home for Pesach. But he says he has to go home. He has to get everything in order with Social Security and all his business. And he wants to come. And he's thinking of coming the beginning of the summer. All this I told you, I think, right? So what we figured out today, me and Yossel and Aunt Lil, is that Uncle Sidney will come for Yom HaAtzmaut. Yossel will go back to America with Uncle Sidney, and you'll come back to Israel with Yossel. How's that? Boy, if Daddy couldn't believe, if Daddy makes that thing that Yossel will come just like Uncle Sidney will come, then he can really have a good time with this. Like Yossel will come, like Uncle Sidney will come, like you'll come. Only that means that if you do come, that means if they're all equal, and you're coming, that means that so will Uncle Sidney and so will Yossel. So you see what a responsibility you have to come here in the summer? You see what it would mean? If you come here in the summer, then so will Uncle Sidney and so will Yossel. How's that for logic? Oh well. Anyway, nothing so exciting has happened. I really have to apologize about my last tape. About my teal. I didn't describe it well at all. I wasn't in such a good mood or much in the mood to describe it, and now it's so far away that I don't have so much I don't know, I've said it so many times. But I guess you should just know, usually I try to share all my experiences on the tape, and I try to tell it to you as the first time that I'm telling it to anyone, because then I can really be most excited and really go through it. But I just hope that, so I guess you sort of missed out on this teal, but you should know that I had a fantastic time, and it was extremely beautiful. If you come in the summer, then we'll do it again. And I'm Baki. I'm an expert in Sinai now, right? I've been there twice. It's kind of ironic that I've been to Sinai twice, and I've never been to the Knesset, and I've never been to the Israeli Museum, and I've never been to the Jerusalem Theater. But Yosel today told me that he bought 2 tickets, and he wants me to go with him to the theater next Monday, which ordinarily I'd be quite excited, except for Tuesday's my big test. So I was mad, in fact, but I didn't want him to see I was mad. I have no time to go Monday night. Really, I don't. But he was so excited that he bought the tickets and everything, so I didn't want him to see that so I'm going with him Monday night. I'll just have to, I don't know what I'll have to do. But anyway, I don't want him to even know that, I don't know. But I was ready to kill him for buying those tickets. Anyway. So my TIOL was great, and since my TIOL I had 1 week of a lot of tests, which I really enjoyed because they were things that I really liked learning. And now I have my math tests, which I don't so much like learning, but I just like to get them over with. I don't know. And after my math test, then comes Purim vacation, and then after Purim is about 2.5 weeks until we're off again for Pesach. Purim vacation is about 3 days. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then we're off for Pesach. And between Purim and Pesach, I think I also have some more tests and papers due. And by Pesach time, I'll be free. So you can think of me on Pesach, and you can sigh in relief, because then I'll be free. And I'll have 3 weeks vacation, a real vacation. And then after Pesach, it starts all over again till the end of the year. And that brings us to the summer. Now, what I want to say is, when I wrote home, my roommate is sitting here, and she's my witness, even though she's trying to study, and I'm probably bothering her. When I wrote home, or when I spoke on the tape home about you guys coming here for next year, for the summer, I wasn't trying to be, I told my roommate, I said that probably when Daddy hears the tape, you and Daddy will listen to the tape, probably the first thing Daddy will say is he'll guess that I don't want to come home in the summer. Even though I never once mentioned it, I was sure Daddy would guess that. And then I was all worried that he was going to think that I'm trying to be all devious, and that I'm just talking about how you should come here, and I'm hiding that. So now I want to set the record straight. The truth of the matter is that when I said all those things about you guys coming, I really, really mean it. If you would only know, if you could just see me now, and if you could see just how happy I am, and just how gorgeous this place is, and how beautiful it is, all those things that I write you about Israel, I write you like I just have to tell you. You just have to see. You just have to come. And even when I'm blue, like I'm not so fantasizing. I'm not so in dreamland to think that it's always great and I'm always happy. You see that sometimes I'm depressed. Sometimes I'm sick. I mean, like bad things happen here too, and I'm very much aware of that. And I know. And then it's not pleasant. Look at me, I have tests. I used to think that, well, in Israel you don't have tests. I mean, you don't suffer about tests, but you do. But, no, it's the truth. I used to sit with Rhoda, and we used to sit there saying, we were in high school, and we had all winter work to do, and everything was horrible, and like we sit there, if only we were in Israel. And then we look at each other and think, what? You think the kids in high school in Israel, you think they have tests? No, couldn't be. They couldn't be unhappy. But it's true, they are. But anyway, but when I tell you that you should come, I really mean that you should come. And I really think, and I was talking with Aunt Lil, and she agrees, she said it even before I did, that you guys so much need a vacation. And the summertime, our house becomes a hotel. So why not for once, instead of turning our house into a hotel, why don't you leave and go to your own hotel? And you always have so many pressures and so many troubles. I don't have to tell you. Last summer, I think, was an extreme case, but it wasn't such an exception last summer. Every summer's hectic. I can think back, and every single summer is an exception, like last summer was, and every single summer turns out to be hectic. So what better way? And I'm not kidding. What better way to spend the summer? You have to come to Israel anyway, and you want to come to Israel. And I can't think of anything better. I'm so busy during the year, so that if you had your choice of coming, the best time would be in the summer. And what better way to spend the summer than in Israel? I don't know. We could spend it in the Tanya, in Tel Aviv, on the beaches. We can spend it in Yerushalayim. We could spend it going on Tiulip. And what you say about me not being realistic about the money, it's not that I'm not realistic about money. I'm very much realistic about money. I'm living on my, on the money. I have to budget it. I'm aware of money, and I know how much things cost and things. But another thing which I notice, which I begun to realize is, if you want to spend money on something, or you want something very much, then you manage to do it. And it's not shayach to say, it doesn't apply to say, how do you translate these Hebrew expressions? To say, well, it's something you want very, very much that you don't have enough money for it. If you want to go on New Year's Eve and spend a whole lot of money, you can blow in one night, which you've saved up for months, and you think it's worth it to blow it in one night. I'm not knocking New Year's Eve, by the way. I'm just giving you an example. Or if you want to go on a vacation, or if you want to go out to eat somewhere or something. So same way, if you want to come to Israel, so it's a lot more, but it's also a lot more pleasure, and it's a lot more reward. And not only that, so besides that, that's the main thing. But then you should also know that it's not as expensive as you think. Lil told me how much her 7-week tour is costing. It's almost nothing. And I think if you really wanted to, I don't think money is the main thing that would stop you if you really wanted to. Anyway, I don't know who I am to tell you what your money financial matters are. I guess being this far away, I can be pretty chutzpahdik. I don't know. So that's from your point of coming. And there are many reasons why I want you to come. There are lots of things. There are lots of reasons why I want you to come. First of all, I'd like you to see where I am and where I live and where I've been living for the past 2 years and where I'll be living for the next 2 years. And when I say Rechava Pisgah, and when I say the Michara Library, and when I say my classrooms, and when I say my teachers, and when I say Bayit Vagan, so that you'll know what it is. And you can see the Horvitz's house, and you can see Yassel. I mean, just all these things so you know what they are, even though you sort of know now. And of course I want you to see the country. And there's something else. There's something else that I want to say. And that is that, when I make tapes to you, like what I said before about planning how to say things and all this stuff. So right now I'm making all these cheshbanot, I'm making all these calculations in my mind. I'm trying to think how it sounds to you when I say these things. Because I realize that I have a tendency sometimes to make that I sound like Rachel says before, real mushy or real unrealistic or something. And all the time I'm always thinking, well, I've got to watch what I say so I don't sound so unrealistic. But I guess that I can't do that anymore. It's too much of a pressure on me when I make a tape. So now I want to say things, and I'm saying them straight from my heart, and I'm not thinking about how you're going to react to them. So I take no responsibility. But what I really want to say is that Eretz Israel has a special kedusha about it. It's special, it's holy. And I don't exactly know how to translate holy, and I could get myself into a lot of trouble if I try. But the truth of the matter is that I think you know what I mean. When I say it's holy, I guess what I'm really trying to say, I think what holy means is it's separate, it's different from anything else. Why Shabbos holy? Because it's different from the rest of the days of the week. And why is certain food holy? Because you can't. It's different from, you can't eat anything. So the things that you eat are different. And the same thing with Shemitah, which is the year that you can't grow things in Israel, which is this year. It's a holy year because it's different. Holy, I think, sort of means separate. And I don't think anyone could deny, especially you guys, that Israel's different. In whatever way, I guess it's different to every person in their each in their individual way. But it does have something special about it. And it has a special kedusha about it. And it's not a subjective thing really. It's sort of objective. It's a fact that anyone that comes to Israel feels that way. But even if they didn't feel that way, it doesn't mean that the fact isn't there. It's true. It's a holy thing. I think about it a lot because I'm so amazed, and I see myself now, and I see myself how I was in the summer. And it shocks me because I don't know. I remember how I was last year, and I remember I think how I was in the summer. Up even to the point where being in Israel or being in America makes a difference in how I feel and in how I act and in how I look at things and how I see things. And what I mean by how I feel and how I act, I don't know, you could say, what, you've been sick in Israel and you weren't sick in the summer. I don't mean that. I just mean that here, like, I can wake up in the morning, and if it's raining outside, I have a whole lot of things to do. Somehow I can see above that. I can see, I can see things better. I can see things clearer, and I can see, where it's just one thing where, I don't know, even when I'm in a bad mood, I know, I don't know, I just think more clearly and feel better. Maybe it's a futile attempt to even try and describe, but I also know, I'm positive that I'm better here. I feel much better, and in every way, I feel so much more normal here and so much more healthy here. And it's true of any person. It's not just of me. Oh, and the tape is running out. Now I'm getting nervous because I keep thinking it's going to end. Oh, here we go. But anyway, it's just such a, I don't know, that's the only way I can put it. I feel healthy and normal. And I feel right here. And I'm talking in terms of me, but it's true of anyone. I think every Jew's place is in Israel. A Jew's place is in Israel. And that's why a Jew feels better in Israel. But I won't go into that because, there's a lot to be said. Here I go again trying to think what your reaction is. Forget it. But anyway, even talking in a personal level, I think you feel better here, and I think anyone feels better here. And Rachel was just telling me before how, like she writes a friend a letter, and she writes to her friend, she says, "Dear Mimi, the sun is shining," and she draws a picture of the sun shining, and she says, and a cat knocked over the trash can, and she's like, exuberant, just little things here, you're bursting with them, or the stones are so pretty, or I don't know. It's true maybe there are prettier things in the world, but it's the Kedusha which makes it so special. So why am I telling you all this? And the tape is running out, and I can't go on really because I'm inhibited by the tape. But I wanted. Darn, I wish it would end. Anyway, so I saw how in the summer I was back in America. The only thing which gnaws at me in Israel is not being home, is not being with my family, is not being with you. I don't so much care about Silver Spring, Maryland. I've gotten over the homesickness for the place. But the people you can't get over, of course. In fact, it grows all the time. It's not any. I guess that means it's real. I don't know. So I miss you very much. And of course, like last year, I missed the place very much, the change of it all and everything. But now I've gotten used to that. I have my routines here. Oh, I look fondly back, and I do miss it. I'm not completely, I don't know. The tape has to end. I can't go on. I don't know. Maybe I'll just stop and turn it over to the other side. Okay. I wonder how much tape I wasted on the other side, but it just made me so nervous. I don't know. I couldn't talk freely. Anyway, I sort of a queer place to break it off. But all I want to say is that I don't know how to convince you. I don't know how to show you without your being here to see it yourself. It's like, how do you tell a blind person? And it's not such a bad analogy, I don't think, as it sounds at first. But how do you tell a blind person, let's say, about colors, without them seeing them themselves? So the same way, I can't describe to you what Israel means, and how it works, and really how kadosh, how great it is here, without your being here. And I thought that I could. I thought that I could succeed. I couldn't understand why not. Why shouldn't I be able to? If I feel it and I understand it, and I understand it very well, then why shouldn't I be able to explain it to you? But first of all, there's no way that I could explain it to you when I was in America, because we were both in America, and and it was far away, and I didn't succeed in all in the summer in telling you. I wanted so much to show you and to show you how happy I was and how great it is here, and somehow not to show you facts and to show you stories, but somehow to give over the feeling and the love and everything that I have for this country. I can't describe it. For this country and for the people and for the whole world and for and I'm not just talking off the top of my head. I'm not talking like an 8th grader or something. I'm talking really seriously. I sound like a little baby on the tape. I heard my voice a second ago, and I sound like I'm about in 8th grade. But what I'm saying now are things that they're not emotional. They're rational things. They're things I've thought, not just felt. And this summer, I wasn't successful at all because all kinds of things, all kinds of complications inside of me and all kinds of complications inside of you, plus all the outside factors, all the company and all the troubles and all this stuff. I mean, I think we all realize that and with working in camp and being tired and all this, so it really wasn't even the most pleasant thing all the time. It was such a, at least for me, being very frank, it was such a drain on my emotions and everything. I felt so bad all the time because I wanted so much to talk and everything, only sometimes, and I'm not, as you see now, I'm not very coherent. I'm not very articulate, and it was just very frustrating, the whole thing. And I couldn't understand why. And I even saw that when I was writing to Ellie that we were also having trouble communicating. He would write things, I wouldn't understand what he was saying, and I would write back and he wouldn't understand. And I felt like I was going crazy. I don't know. No one's understanding, and I'm not understanding myself, and I didn't know what was happening. And now I understand more clearly how could I have expected to give over the things about Israel when neither one of us were in Israel. At best, I could just give you memories and show you pictures and tell you stories, and tell them nicely so that it made you have a good feeling. But that isn't enough. So when I say that I really want you to come to Israel, what I mean is I want you to come to Israel so that you can see for yourself. I feel like an idiot because I think that I must sound like one. When what I know what I'm saying is true and right. You just have to trust me. Really, you have to trust me. If you trusted anything I've ever done, no matter what you think of me, trust me that what I'm saying now. That's one of the main reasons, besides seeing the places so you know where I am and getting a vacation and all that stuff. I really want you to come so that you can see what Israel is, so that when I say that I want to settle and live here, it's not for my own comfort exactly. It's not because I see it's nice here and it's nicer than America and I'm scared of America and I want to come here and so it would be most comfortable for me. It's only that it's what I have to do. It's the right thing for me to do, and this is my place. And this is where I can best help. I'm not saying that this is where it can best help me. This is where I can best help in every single way, or in my own way. Every person can help in their own way, and everyone has their own special talents that they can do, and they can contribute in, and they can give. And mine are here in Israel. Actually, I think every Jews are here in Israel. But when I say that I want to live in Israel, I want you to understand why. I want you to understand why I'm so grateful every single day that I'm here. And I'm really grateful that I'm here. I really do appreciate it. And and as far as like Daddy's saying, well, that means that she isn't coming in the summer. The truth of the matter is that I hadn't much thought about it. But during the course of this tape, I really want you to come in the summer. And yeah, and the more I think, and the truth of the matter is that I don't so much want to go to Washington in the summer. I feel dead there. I feel stifled there. I felt frustrated there. I know you could say, what do you mean you felt stifled? All you did was lie around and didn't do anything, which isn't so true, but why was I that? I don't know. I'm a different person there. I'm a different person. I'm like in a graveyard there. Oh, I'm speaking very strongly. It's just because I can't find the words and it's very late at night, but I don't so much want to come home in the summer. I want you to come here. I'm telling you, the only thing which even makes me hesitate is seeing you. It's seeing everyone, of course. But those are my feelings. I would very much prefer not to come in the summer, and I would very much want you to come. To me, it's the most important thing in the world. It's one of the most. It's very, very important. And I don't know. I just think it would be. I think it would be a great experience for you also. More than experience. That's such a trite thing. Oh, it's a very important experience. I don't know. I think the time has come, and I think it's necessary. I don't know about this tape. I really don't. I'm having right now machloket inside of me, a big fight, a big war, whether I should send it at all. But no, I decided at the very beginning of the tape that I was going to make it, and I was going to just talk and say what I really feel. Very often, like in writing letters, I'm in a rush, or making tapes, I tell things, and I don't always get in what I feel. And I always think, well, when I'm in person, or someday I'll sit down and I'll explain it all. When I'm in person, I see that I'm not very successful either. And when I sit down and plan, and I'm not very successful either. So maybe now, and I'm just talking from my heart, maybe now something will get through. I don't know. I pray that it will. And then, of course, the other reason that I want you to come in the summer is because I want you to meet Ellie so finally. That's another reason. It's not the most. It's also a very important reason. Mommy said in your tape. You said in your tape that it seems that I'm avoiding the subject. You said that these two subjects about coming home and about Ellie are the two that I seem to avoid, and everything else I've answered your questions. And in a way you're right, but I wasn't. I mean, I thought about it. In a way you're right, but that I avoid the subject of Ellie, but it's not really consciously that I do. It's sort of subconsciously that I do, because that's another one of those things that I so much want you to know and understand that I never feel adequate, and I never feel that I'm doing it justice, and I only feel that I can only cause more misunderstanding. That I just sort of don't mention it and think that one day I'll explain it very well. What I mean by causing misunderstanding is that when there's such a long distance between us, 9,000 or 9,000 miles away, so things tend to get. There's no way that what I say can reach your ears the way I wanted it to, and vice versa. I mean, I don't have to go into the problem of what it means to communicate long distance, besides the fact that it takes so long, plus the fact that Daddy never says anything at all. And there's a point, I think, where I can stop knowing and reading his mind, and where I just have to start guessing. It was pretty good reinforcement to know that I knew exactly what Daddy was going to say when he heard the other tape. But I'd like to hear from him also. I really would. Besides his voice echoing in the background or something when Mom manages to sneak in the tape recorder when he doesn't know. But all these things contribute to make it very, very hard to communicate so far away. But I guess now, what should I tell you about Ellie? I realize that when we talk about Ellie, the reason why it's not so successful, we sort of talk at each other, and we don't talk with each other, because of a lot of things. Like, what I mean by at each other is we listen to what the other person says, and we understand the words. And yeah, we take into consideration and understand the words, but we don't really take it into our hearts and understand the words, and we don't really swallow it up and utilize it and relate to it. Oh, isn't she nice? She brought me another piece of bread. Oh, this is terrible. But, and I think it becomes, thank you, Rachel. I think it comes because of, I think one of the reasons is because we're each of us starting from a different point of view, so we're looking at it differently. And I guess it's a pretty normal thing. It's an extremely normal thing. Why? Being that I met Ellie here, and I went through a whole lot of things with him, and I wasn't in the framework of America and America's society and American rules and American ideas. I was in the framework of Jewish society and Jewish rules and Jewish ideas. And I was in Israel, and I was with my rules and my thoughts. I was completely free. It was complete, the evolvement, the evolution was very, very natural. And you heard about it long distance from me and from other things. And you have to relate to it with, being in America, with American ideas. I'm doing a horrible job. But anyway, we sit and we talk about it. And I understand very much the American ideas. I'm very much still steeped in them. And the idea of meeting many, many boys and looking for the one which is best for me and the one which I'll be most comfortable with and most happy with. And like Grandma said, Grandma once told me that marrying a boy is like buying a new dress, that you try on a whole lot until you find the one most suited. And when she said that, I felt like slapping her on one hand, because it made me sick, the thought of it. On the other hand, it just seems so logical, and that's right. I mean, that's right. That's what I always thought. That's what I think. And I think that not in such a base, in such a mundane way, but I think that's what you think also. But no, but I don't think it's that way. Just a minute. Okay, I took a coffee break to finish my bread, and now I'm going to go on. All I can do here is all I can do here at most is tell you exactly how I feel, exactly what's going on, and and hope that you try and look at it from my point of view and see it for what it is and everything. Because it's unlike what it might seem like, I'm not hiding anything from you, because it's much too great to even want to hide. I mean, I don't know. It's a very, there's nothing to hide. It's a very wonderful thing. So of course I want to share it with you. I'm just always afraid that you're going to misunderstand, and then I think, well, it's better that you don't. It's better that you don't know it all right away, and then rather than you misunderstand and get upset, I don't want you to say anything rash that without even really knowing. And I don't know why I'm talking so much in generalities, but anyway, that's one of the reasons why I like you to come this summer to meet Ellie, so that you can see exactly who this Ellie is, that, big Mr. X or something. He's really a person. He's really human. I mean, he's not a monster, and he's not a freak, and he's not Mr. Wonderful, and he's not Mr. America. He's 100% human, and he's normal, I guess. But what I want to explain to you is, how shall I say? What you should know that what I'm saying now, I'm very carefully weighing my words, I think. And maybe at the end I'll tell you that I wasn't. I'll have to see how it comes out. Anyway, Ellie and I, it's not shaykh to say that I haven't been out with a lot of boys or anything. the truth of the matter is that I have been out with a lot. You just think of me as not having been out with a lot. But I once told you that even though what I'm telling you now, that isn't a justification for me at all. This is just ease your mind. Even though to me it doesn't matter at all whether I'd ever gone out with one boy in my whole life before I met Ellie. But I just want to ease your mind that I told you once that, and you can ask Brian, in high school in these days, people don't go out on dates like they did in your day. It's a different type of all different type of meeting or social setup or something. And in my high school day, between Bnei Akiva and between Midrasha and between public school and between all my old friends from the academy, and they were extremely close. I've met probably more boys than I think any average girl has, and I've been friends and close with a whole lot. I think if you think about it for 1 second, you'll see it's true. And in Israel also last year, I also met a lot of boys, and I went out with Achiezer, and I met a lot of others. And I don't know, I sound like I'm rationalizing for myself and justifying, but I'm not. I'm just saying that really sort of for Mom's sake, so she just ease her mind. I do sort of know what I want, and I do sort of know what to look for, and from the outside way, even though to me it doesn't matter that much at all, because I don't really know how to explain it, but Ellie and I, like, our whole relationship isn't a Russian matter infatuation type thing. It's very long and very complicated, just I think as any deep relationship is. And it's very strong. And it's gone through an awful lot. And we've gotten to know each other very well in almost every single way and in every single situation. And we've gotten to really, really understand each other and really know each other, which isn't also that important. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think this is even more futile than trying to explain to you about Israel. I don't know. We've sat and we've talked and we've learned together, and we've talked about what we expect together, and what we want for our future, and we've talked like in an individual way what we want and what we aspire to and everything, and it's very similar, and a lot together we've learned, and a lot together we've grown, because since we've met each other, many things have happened. It's not coincidence, I don't think, that we met Dafka last year, and it's not coincidence that he became religious and while meeting with me. I mean, all these things happened at once, and it all very much sealed a lot of things, and it Hat'ama. There's a Hebrew word, Hat'ama, and I can't think of what it is in English, and when I do, it'll be good. We've unified a lot of our ways of looking at things and seeing things. I can't explain it. It's very, very unique, the way we act with each other. It's very, very unique. It's unique in that how do I tell you? I'm trying to think what you're thinking now, and I don't know what you're thinking now. I can't begin to think. I can't tell you. It's not like people going out on a date, and the boy takes the girl here, and they have a very nice time, and I don't know exactly how they know that they like each other, and I don't know exactly how they do. They just go on many dates or something until they decide they want to be married, and then they get married. I don't know, but Ellie and I, well, we're each serious about our lives, and we're serious about what we want to do. I don't mean that we never smile or laugh. That's not what I mean by serious. and we're serious about, and we see our lives together. We see our future together. In fact, we don't see it any other way. I can't explain it to you, but it's if you would know, then you would see it's the most natural thing in the world for me and Ellie to be together. And our ideas, not just our ideas, but everything about us. I don't know, I can't, for want of a better word, I keep saying ideas, but I just mean our ideas, our outlook, our whole lives, our whole future. We both match each other so well. That's hatama. That's what hatama means. It means we match. Our ideas, I keep using that word again, but our whole selves match so well. And it doesn't mean that we agree in everything, because I think just about everything in the whole world we disagree on. But that doesn't matter about things. But we so much match. And I think we can... You see, what's one person? One person isn't anything. But in this world is made up of a unit of families. The family is the unit. The family is the one thing. And Ellie and I, as a family, as a unit, it's very positive. It's very right. This is very hopeless. I think I wish I was Walt Whitman or somebody that could express your feelings great nobly or something and explain to you. I wish I was a poet so that I could tell you exactly what I meant. But I'm not. In fact, I'm the opposite. I have very much trouble explaining what I mean. But all I want to say is that that we like each other very, very, very much. And besides that, we're very serious. When I say we're serious about each other, I don't mean that we're serious that we're going to be married or anything, but we're serious about what we want to do. Like we're serious about our plans. That we're serious about how we want to live and how we want to live our lives and where we want to live our lives, and we're doing it in terms of how we can best contribute. But see, now you're thinking what a naive thought, how you can best contribute and give and all this stuff. I don't mean that we're going to be living in the poor section, giving up everything to charity, and I'll spend my life begging on the street corner so that he can go and learn or something. I don't mean that at all. What are we doing now? What are we trying to do now? We're trying to. This time for me and for him is a time that we're trying to both know exactly who we are. See, what's real modesty? What's real humbleness? It's a good trait, but it doesn't mean walking around saying, "Oh, I'm a nothing. I'm this. I'm that. I'm being all shafel and crooked and like Jews have always been in all the centuries, broken down and everything." No, being modest, being humble, doesn't mean hiding away and all scrunched in a corner. It means knowing exactly who you are and knowing exactly what you are and knowing your good points and your bad points and living yourself, being yourself, being you. And Ellie and I found that when I'm me and when he's him, and we match so well together, and being ourselves, we can do so much. Being ourselves. If everyone was themselves, if everyone was what they're supposed to be, if everyone, instead of trying to copy everybody else, if everyone did what they're supposed to be doing, if women are women and men are men and the kings are the kings and the servants are the servants, I'm not explaining well, but through learning and through planning and not by rushing into things and not by being irresponsible, but Ellie and I recognize and understand and know exactly who we are and know exactly what we are together, then we can build our lives and it'll be the most productive and the most happy and the most normal and healthy and helpful lives and Kaddish lives. And I'm really not explaining well. You really, I don't know. I'm sending this tape and I'm sticking my neck out because I'm doing a very poor job. I really can't expect you to understand it. Something which, It's something which isn't said very often, but you just take my word for it. I don't know. When you say that I don't sound serious about going out with other people and all this stuff, first of all, no one has asked me. There's nothing I can do about that, really. And second of all, I'm not interested in anybody else. I'm not interested in anybody else. I don't know, I guess that's pretty clear. It's like, I found the dress that fits me, and if I hadn't gone to Landover Mall and Tyson's Corner and Montgomery Mall and Wheaton Plaza and Prince George's Plaza, well, you know, I'm sorry and everything, but I'm 20 years old, and if I'm naive at 20, then that's what I'm going to be the rest of my life, and that's who I want to be. I mean, I am the way I am. And I'm not rushing into anything. I'm not rushing in and getting married tomorrow. What our plans are, obviously we're not in any kind of financial state to be able to get married. At all we're not. And Ellie doesn't want to get married, and I don't want to get married either, until we have a means of financial support. And that means in terms of me being able to work and in terms of him. As far as his plans and everything are, there's plenty of time to talk about that and everything. I don't have to explain, I guess, I don't have to explain everything in one tape. But you know, don't worry about, we're not planning on getting married or anything. If we get married, we're not planning on getting married for a long time, 1.5 years or 2 years, at least until I finish up here. Not only because of outside reasons, you know, what I just said, financial reasons, I guess, basically being, and also like, I mean, I want you to meet him, and I want you to share my happiness. I don't want to have to be in the defensive. I don't want to have to be sitting here worried about, you know, having nightmares that you're going to be angry and upset and you're going to be, I don't know what, because I'm so worried and scared because you haven't met him, and I know you have all kinds of bad impressions of him without ever having seen him because of this whole business of learning. I know it's very strange and very hard. That's why I want you to come and see for yourself. Not that, I don't know, but anyways, but to ease your mind until then, you should know that I'm extremely, extremely happy, and I'm very, very sure of myself. And I hope I haven't disappointed you too much, but you asked me to explain, and I tried to explain it. But